My date idea was this little place I found out about that was a hidden gem, a beautiful wooded area with a running creek into a lake. Across the lake, I set up a nice picnic. I love the simplicity and intimacy that picnics create. Nothing too big, but just enough to allow him a peek into me. We hiked the trail and crossed the creek. I love nature and how peaceful it is. When we made it to the picnic, Terrence mentioned a place called Dunn's River in Jamaica, how I would love it, and he was taking me there and wasn't taking no for answer. When we sat down, I pulled over my magic basket. It really was just a regular picnic basket, but what was in it was magic. I'm lying. What was in it was regular too, but I was always taught that it was the thought behind the gift that mattered the most. So, remember me saying I was familiar with reggae? Well, I'm a little familiar with Caribbean culture, especially Jamaican. I have an aunt who is Jamaican, and she taught me how to cook some authentic foods. So, with a straight face, I started pulling out our regular breakfast. Ackee, saltfish, fried dumpling, a pear. That's what avocados are called in Jamaica. And a little callaloo, just in case he liked it, with some fresh fruit juice. Let's just say Terrence looked a little confused or possibly impressed. He told me any American woman he dated never attempted to learn to cook a dish from his culture. The true compliment was him tasting it and sitting back, looking at me like I lied about my entire life. I had to remind him he asked me if I was Caribbean, not if I knew someone who was or was related to anyone who was Caribbean. First date rule for me is this: tell them the answer to what they ask, not the information you know. These people are strangers. They don't need to know all of who you are at first. Just give enough for them to want to get to know who you are, not believe they know who you are. So, as much as we talked about aspirations, goals, and life, I knew not to give him specifics about any of it. I just gave him ideas and general thoughts, not anything super solid. Why? If you tell a lying man exactly what you want, then he will pretend to be what you said and not who he is, just to get you. I think the date went great, and Terrence agreed, but he had questions about why I waited so long to go on the date. It was only a month from the first date, so I don't think it was long. I wasn't playing a game with him, but I explained that it was safe for me. This picnic turned into a therapy session because Terrence asked questions like I did. So here I am, explaining how painful and how much it takes to heal from betrayal, from someone you didn't expect betrayal from. Past relationships can haunt you for the rest of your life if you don't take the time to heal and process what really happened, which is beyond the pain you may have experienced. A lot of the times we have a hand in our own painful situations, even if the other person is the one who did the painful act. We are at times guilty for not leaving sooner, like we should have, or entering the relationship, knowing that we shouldn't. In hindsight, I realize you can put up every defense and tactic to protect you from the trash people like to do, but sometimes your protection for yourself is not enough. God must be your protector, and I learned that the hardest way possible. So back to this story with Terrence. 4 months after the picnic, and we were still seeing each other, and things were getting serious. Things were getting serious, and sex happened, and it happened often. I'm not about to lie to you like other people do and say, it just happened. I not only wanted it, but a part of me felt like I needed it, like I had an appetite not just for sex, but sex with him. I know a lot of times Christians talk about a miserable life of sin, but hell, I enjoyed a lot of what I did, and sex was one of them. The lie I felt was that sex with Terrence was freeing and uninhibited. We did what we did. when and how we did it. It's crazy how something that was designed to be freeing and uninhibited can be turmoil and enslaving if done without the proper intent and boundaries. Here I am believing, because we mesh well together and had space in each other's houses, that it meant commitment. Honey, living back and forth with a man or woman and have some of your belongings at their place is not commitment. It is boundary breaking, but people don't want to hear that. He didn't pledge his heart and life, which is marriage, but we pledge our bodies to each other without ever saying a word about it.